Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. We're going to be showing you a cool little tool that we can use in the entity component system if we want to show all the entities that we have in our scene within a nice, easy to use hierarchy. So if you're not familiar with the entity component system quite yet, no problem. Just go ahead and check out this playlist that I have. I'll link it up in the card as well as in the description below. And that's going to let you know what ECS is and how it relates to the data-oriented technology stack. And it's going to get you up and running with how to actually use these systems within the Unity game engine. Now, if you are familiar with the entity component system, you'll know that it can be a little bit cumbersome to find some of the entities once they've been converted. So for example, I have this sample scene here where we have this cube as well as the child cube. So on this main cube, I of course have the convert to entity component on it, and this child cube does not have the convert to entity component, but it still is going to be converted to an entity because it is a child of this guy, which is going to be converted to an entity. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the play button here. Now you'll see that these cubes actually disappear out of the scene hierarchy. So now previously we actually had to go down into the entity debugger, and you'll see that we have the cube and the child cube sitting here. However, that child parent relationship is not easily seen here. You can, when you click on the entities, you can go in and see that the parent value is set to this 2:1 cube. So this number 2 refers to the entity index. So then we can go over to this cube here and know that this is the parent. And you can see that on the parent, we have this child, which is set to the 3:1 child cube. So again, kind of adds a little bit of complexity there. So anyways, let me go ahead and show you how to actually add this to your project. So first you'll need to go to your project settings and the package manager section, and just make sure enable preview packages is enabled. If you're using ECS, then it is probably set up that way already. And then you just go up to Window and Package Manager to open up the Package Manager, and then just go ahead and do a search here for Edit. And then you'll see that there is the Dots Editor. So go ahead and just install that to your project. Once you've done that, then now you can go to Window and Dots and then Entities. And then here we have this. I usually just like to dock this up with my project here. And you'll see that right now we're kind of getting a little message saying that the live conversion and edit mode is disabled because we have live link turned off. And that's fine. I just wanted to show you what happens when we go ahead and hit play here right now. So now you'll see that this is where we have all the entities within our scene here. If we go down here, you'll actually see that we have this cube, and then we can do this little drop down under that, and then we have the child cube. Again, if we have our inspector open, we can actually inspect these values. We can't change them or anything like that right now, but we can take a look at what all the values are. That's really going to be helpful for debugging. And you'll also see that when I'm in play mode here, I can actually spawn entities at runtime, and you'll see that they are correctly populating within this new hierarchy here. So that's really cool. Also, you see that up here, I have these sub scenes for blocks and spheres, which contain all these entities under them. Again, we can click on these and get the different individual values for these. One kind of neat thing here is for these subscenes, we can actually right click on the subscene and we'll say ping subscene in hierarchy, and then it will just ping this subscene here. We know where it is, and if we ever need to make any edits on it, we can select that here. So one thing about subscenes is if we check this box to open it in edit mode, you'll see that we can now actually edit the game objects under here. So these are actually set up as game objects right now, and because they're in subscenes, they get converted to entities at runtime. Now, when we do have this box selected, we can actually see the name in this hierarchy. So that's just, again, kind of nice for us to find these objects a little bit better. Also, if we want, I can move this entities window over here, and I can do a right click and then do ping subscene in project window. And you'll see that it just brings us right to where it is in the project window here. Now I'll exit out of play mode here, and you'll see that if we just push this button for enable live link conversion in edit mode, now you'll see right away it's going to give us all the things that are going to be converted at runtime. It's not going to show up with anything that just has the convert to entity component in our main scene here, but it will show us all the things within our sub scenes here. Again, if we check this box to open the subscene for editing, we can actually see the names of the entities here. And again, it is going to allow us to click on these different entities to see the values just while we're within the edit mode here. Now, one last neat little feature that I want to show off, which is unfortunately a little bit buggy at this point, but you can actually do searches, and you can kind of do a pretty powerful search here. So for example, if we wanted to search for everything called cube, you see that this returns the regular cube as well as the child cube. And furthermore, you can actually search for data components. So for example, I have this test DC data component. So the way we actually search for this is we do a C:, and then this is the part that's a little bit buggy. You'll see that as I start to type things in, basically everything shows up within here. And we have to actually do an exact match for the search. So when I have this test DC, you'll see that this child cube comes up because it has the test DC. And then also put it on one of the spheres within the sphere subscene. It has this test DC component. Again, the capitalization has to be exactly correct. So if I did a lowercase c here, then it's still going to return everything. So I'm not sure if that's just kind of like a little bug or something, and it's something that's going to be fixed pretty soon, because I know this is the first iteration of this entities window. It was literally just released a few days ago. And so I think this is an awesome first step. I know there's a bunch of more features that they are planning to add to this whole entities window soon. So again, I just wanted to show off this tool real quick. Again, I think this is the first major step for this tool, as well as other, necessary tools for the entity component system to be a viable option when it comes to developing games. So anyways, if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button. Also feel free to subscribe to the channel for lots more videos on the entity component system and Unity's data-oriented technology stack. If you have any questions for me or suggestions for future videos, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. If you'd like, feel free to join our Discord community, where I'm building up a nice place for DOTS and ECS developers where they can go and ask questions and just kind of share knowledge and little tidbits along the way. So anyways, hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.